You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Is it just me, or did he suddenly change the way he said, is a princess? Curiosities, but also not that important. We're on a fresh run, as it were. And hello, Professor Bright here. Welcome back to Slay the Princess, where I kind of don't know what to do next, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I feel like we've gone through the major paths, although, having said that, we never did finish that path where we, what's the phrasing I want to use? Attempted to free the princess? There might be something there.
You're here to slay her.
I suppose.
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
You keep saying the world, it's just a world. Come on now. I'm wise to your ways. I don't believe... Well, actually, I say that. I don't believe these make any difference, but someone did point out that my focus has been on what triggers the voices, and I've been saying that's how we interact with the princess. It's also, apparently, allegedly, having to do with how the voice of the hero reacts to the princess. So I'm wondering if I use these to trigger certain reactions, and that's how I get to different paths? I don't know. I'm uncertain. I mean, I say that. This is clearly how I get to different paths, but I'm trying to control what path I go to, you see. Which voice I summon up for the next loop in this sequence. But I suppose... Yes, let's do this.
Does it?
Yeah. And we're just gonna skip that because, Yeah, I want him to feel guilty, I think, in this run. Although it also might not matter.
You make your way up the short path.
Yeah, I know. I will ignore the hero for the most part. We are actually gonna enter the basement without the blade this run.
Hello? Is someone there?
Yes!
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
I suspect we're gonna create the smitten in this
Don't let it
scenario,
fool you.
but okay.
It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Just checking in on you.
You are? It's been so long since anyone's come down
Really?
here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
Who's they? Could you give me a hint about they? Perhaps?
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
And only one chain, too, notice that.
She's
Why?
beautiful. How could someone like this be of threat to anyone?
Oh, we're definitely creating the smitten now. Now I kind of see it. Like how the reactions of the hero may be what's
I am
causing the
begging
different
you
voices
to
too.
Stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Pardon me. The reactions of the hero voice might be what is sort of generating the other voices, or at least the second one. I don't know about the third one. There might be complexities there. Something to think on, keep in the background of our minds while we decide what to
Hi.
do.
Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Yes, I can. I mean, we could just immediately go for that. Why not?
You're only making this more difficult.
Oh, narrator, you have no idea.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake.
Technically, yes, I did the last time we did this. Ah, yes, the memories.
No, you're doing the right thing.
Yep.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
interesting emphasis on the word imagine there. And now that we know that our words sort of affect the reality of this ethereal space, we'll call it. With its dream logic.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
No.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs.
Could be.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Yeah, do you have any other ideas?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains?
There might be.
Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
Yep, remembering this.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Evidently, but also how and why. Try the door.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Where's the history on this? Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I mean, yeah. No. Yeah. Return to the bottom of the stairs.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to.
Hey, narrator. Trust me, I know. I am walking down a path that I am deeply uncomfortable with, okay? But we're gonna keep walking down that path because it's the only way to get to the end of the path, and then eventually go onto a new path. A better path, possibly.
Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
It's a little bit of a mess.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Yes.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm
Yep.
to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
You know, I didn't notice it before, but man, look at the teeth. God, she's just so much worse than she was before.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
You know, I don't know. It could just be, you know, random artistic flourish, but there's a part of my brain that is saying, that is, for some reason, I can't quite define why, but it keeps connecting this to Beauty and the Beast in just, like, subtle ways, because we look like a monster and the princess is a princess. Does this no. I was thinking these might look like the thorns of a rose, perhaps. Arguably, there might be something there, but if so, it's a subtle thing. And yet, the notion is in my head.
Or we could use it to free her. You
Yes,
won't like what
we could.
happens if you do that.
Hey, guess what, narrator? You're right! I didn't like what happened as a result of us doing this, but, well... Well...
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
I love how they managed to make this so much more grotesque than it has ever been before. With the ginormous eyes, like, way too large. Like, I cannot excuse this as just a matter of artistic style. This is a deliberate choice you made to make her face look terrifying. Which, again, props. I'm sorry, I'm just sort of lost in those eyes. Those horrible, horrible eyes. With the blood on her mouth. Oh, no.
You cut into her flesh.
Yes, with a sword that is, well, a dagger that is, clearly a cutting implement.
The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm.
Somehow this is more grotesque than the ghost princess. You know, if you told me this was like the zombie princess, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Taken without context, oh, look, it's a zombie that is a princess. There's a theme.
Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't.
Yep.
She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
I need to stop. I keep forgetting to stop using the left click because it doesn't. You notice the double clicks now. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened. Clearly she isn't, but yeah. Let's get out of here, princess. I'm comfortable with my choices.
No.
I definitely don't remember doing that.
The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No. I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
Not me, my body steps forward.
Wait,
Interesting.
this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Stabbing you.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
It's interesting to me that we've had twice now voices take over the body, though.
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect.
God, look at the posing. I love. The more I look at this, the more I love what the artist did with this. But
Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
I don't care. Oh. So resisting is not an option. Interesting. Courtesy of our friend, we'll call it, for now. The entity between spaces. Okay. That's also the first time an option's been properly grayed out.
Thank you.
There's no getting through to you right now, is there?
No?
A betrayal of will is still a betrayal. You'll regret thinking of me as a helpless damsel.
Oh?
She pounces on you with
Oh.
the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm.
Oh no.
But you have a weapon.
Wait,
You
wait,
raise the
hold
blade,
up.
digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart.
Hold up. We got some more animalistic, designs here. Like very subtle werewolf vibes.
It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease.
It makes sense. She did bite into her arm and, do that.
You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric.
That is kind of a great image
If
right
we're
there.
lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world. It can't just end like this, right?
Evidently it can, and look how her eyes have that sort of predator gleam to them. I don't know the exact mechanics of how wolves' eyes or cat's eyes do that in the light, but fascinating.
As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Yep. But now what? The witch. Oh, okay, that's less interesting, if I'm going to be honest.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Yeah, a princess.
You're here to slay her.
I'm
If
sure.
you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I said it was less interesting, more because I'm like, ooh, what about the wolf? Some sort of more bestial princess, as it were. Tempting. Tempting. She's gonna kill me again.
Again? People don't die twice.
Only shadows die
Having
twice.
met her princess,
Hey, yeah,
and
but
I
yeah.
hardly think she'd be capable of killing someone as skilled and courageous as yourself.
Oh, we're fucked.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not sure we can trust him.
Ooh. New voice just dropped.
You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me.
I mean, I could just not take certain options. It's not that hard.
Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue, bit of the old brain fog. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. We already know we can't trust her, so let's get on with the show.
Wow, spineless would be more accurate of a moniker, but we'll move on. Proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further.
Although I do notice that we had that option to turn around and not, continue.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You can trust us to get the job done.
Yep, sure, can. Yep, we could. Have we ever had another option at the proceed into the cabin
The
step?
interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
I like it. Very much looks like, either a witch's hut or a monster's lair. We love the
The
style.
blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Do I need to approach the mirror? I'm just gonna enter the Pardon. More for the sake of I've done this every single time anyway. Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or... You
Will
reach
be a mirror.
forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
Not ridiculous at all. Weird, but not ridiculous. And you had nothing to say, opportunist? Okay. I suppose we enter the basement.
No blade. Hope you know what you're getting us into.
I'm going to die.
It'll always be here if we need it. Sure, that was also true last time and we still died, but we definitely know what we're doing this time.
Yeah, we're exploring.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair.
It occurs to me, the title name was The Witch, so I had certain assumptions about how this was going to go down. I'm concerned my assumptions were wrong about what type of princess I'm going to find down here. But we'll see.
The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Some something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
I'm sorry, I'm just not really in the mood for this. If you don't mind me saying. Under certain circumstances, you know, I'd be more into this, but I was expecting a more monstrous sort of princess. But we'll see how it turns out. I'm sure this will end well, and I will be totally disappointed by the lack of monstrousness. Ha 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 ha! But yes, I'm not nasty at all.
But you are. You're a wretched little thing.
No, I'm not.
I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path.
Hey!
I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
Well, I got, controlled by a voice to do it, so...
She must have you confused with someone else.
Maybe.
She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation.
You're gonna get us killed.
You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions?
Huh. While I normally would agree with this voice, I'm thinking now, and I'm wondering if this is hinting at the fact that sometimes you don't want to make every choice. Like, every explorer choice doesn't necessarily lead you... Well, it leads you to an ending, but not necessarily the ending that you want, we shall say.
Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess.
Hey, I've been doing that for, I want to say about 6 hours at this point. A little less, but I could do it for a little while longer. Thank you very much.
Fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, once again seeming to offer a helping hand while likely hiding the other behind your back. Fine, I'll play along for now. What do you want?
I don't know why I didn't have more faith in the art direction here to go in an interesting way with the witch. Huh. Well, they got my face there. But, yeah, hey.
You made a comment back in the woods about having been here before. Now she's acting like the two of you already know each other.
Shouldn't have made that comment, but, oh well.
Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you?
Hey, that's weird, isn't it?
That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it.
Actually, it's more of a pattern recognition, but,
So, you really don't remember us, do you?
Which is interesting. Because when the ghost possessed us, she talked about fragments of glass, and I kind of assumed you were all linked in some way. Some metaphysical way.
No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true.
Alright.
I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us?
It's not.
Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her.
I'm sure you would, but unfortunately...
Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy.
Maybe if we just sort of injure her, right?
Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
What if we just leave her here injured, and then everybody's happy, right? Yeah, no. No, we have to make someone upset, and it's likely going to be the narrator because that's what I've been doing for a while now.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
I both love and hate this. Little cat face there. So... I love this one, though. I get the sense that you're not happy with me. You know, I mean, there is something bigger. Let me think. I mean, yeah, actually, fair point. She can just bite off her arm. Can you get out of those on your own? Those chains didn't stop you last time.
Oh, of course. They're nothing to me.
The princess grins as the chains fall from her wrist.
As she just slips it off.
She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest.
I love that the voices love each princess. It's cute.
This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
I mean, it's just a door. Like, how hard is it to get out from a door? Anyway, I am actually sorry about last time.
Ooh, smart. Let's apologize. Get us back on the right foot.
Oh, you're sorry. Isn't that nice? You're such a gracious little monster. If you're sorry, then let me out of here. Prove it.
I get the sense that you're not happy with me. Let me think here. Look, I know. Things got messy last time, but I think there's something bigger than both of us at work. We should team up. Yes, this is definitely a, yeah, it's an option.
I suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up.
You are absolutely going to stab me in the back.
And unfortunately, you're the only one I have.
You are 100% going to stab me in the back.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it.
Sure.
Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
Accurate. But also, I don't really benefit from killing this princess, so... Why do I have a nagging feeling you're going to stab me in the back if I help you out of here? Yeah.
And why would I do such a thing? Is someone's guilty conscience getting to them?
No, I just, have basic pattern recognition.
But I wouldn't worry. As much as I may hate you, letting you live is in my best interests. If you get me out of here, the only thing that will be dead and buried is the bad blood between us.
Oh, that nagging feeling you mentioned is me, by the way. I'm actually a little anxious about a potential backstabbing event.
Potential backstabbing? Come on, it's basically guaranteed.
She needs us to get out of here. We'll be fine if that's what we decide to do.
Yeah, right up until she gets out of here.
We won't be fine because destruction is in her nature. If she gets out of here, that's it for the world, remember? Even if that's true, that doesn't automatically mean she's gonna stab us in the back.
I mean, if the world ends, it's kind of worse than getting stabbed in the back, hero. Like, come on.
I think that depends on your definition of words like stab and in the back. She might not literally do that, but she could very well symbolically do the same thing. See? He gets it. There's nothing wrong with looking out for number one.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't trust you. Not enough to free you, and definitely not enough to get close to you. I'm leaving. Bye!
Very pragmatic. That is why you're in charge.
There might have been other options I wanted to explore, but
Abandoning me, are you? Fine then. Run. Tuck your tail between your legs and scamper away.
I don't have a tail, I think. Do I have a tail? Something to observe later. But yeah, scampering.
You might be able to escape me, but you can't escape from what you are and what you've done. If I don't take you, the wilds will.
You turn to leave, but as you do, there's a deep, guttural groan seemingly uttered by the walls themselves, followed by the creak of wood being stretched beyond its limits.
Pardon?
The cabin starts to get smaller. What the hell is going on? We're getting out of here and saving our skins. That's what's going on. As the roots that make up the walls of the cramped basement attempt to close in around you, instinct kicks in and you bolt upstairs.
Achievement for leaving a suspicious character in the basement. Well,
The steps are uneven and lively, creaking as they expand out of the dirt floor, the stairway growing smaller and smaller as you dart up towards the light. You manage to squeeze through the door just as the entrance seals itself shut behind you.
I'm sure this will end well.
The cabin is smaller than it was before, and it's getting even smaller and smaller.
What?
That's fine. We'll just leave. I'm sure you'd like to do that. But unfortunately, there is no longer a front door.
Oh.
The roots have already closed over the only possible exit.
Oh
The
no.
little light peeks through the holes that were once windows, is growing weaker as the cabin continues to close in on itself.
Well, we all see how this is gonna end.
Shit. What do we do?
Well, I'm sorry to say, Hero, that I think we die. By, well, presumably by being crushed to death. Which, you know, better than being suffocated, I guess? Question mark.
As your mind races for an answer, you hear the princess's voice crackle up the stairs.
The stairs that are no longer there. But okay.
Do you hear that, you loathsome thing? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you.
But will we die from suffocation or just being crushed? Like our organs squeezing. Well, I guess actually technically there wouldn't be significant difference between the two, would there? Well, no, we're definitely going to be crushed to death, not suffocate. Just by virtue of how this is going to go down, I suspect. Well... We're not animals, we're people. We can work this out, we can make things better. God. Idealistic, but I do believe that. But, let's see here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go with of these options. We're not animals, we're people. We can work this out. We can make things better.
But we are animals. We are. You're nothing but fear and instinct, and that's all I am, too. We don't have to make things better. We can't make things better.
No, we can.
We're just meant to chase each other in the dark until one of us catches the other.
The roots grow ever closer.
A shame she can't imagine something better, but
We know. We can see them.
alas. Come on, they're pressing in on me. They're probably pressing in on you, too. I'm only assuming that because I can't see you, but it sure sounds like they are.
No, what's the matter? You're scared of thorny roots digging into your neck? Are you scared of suffocating in this dark, dark place alone? Good.
A little bit sadistic.
That one made me feel bad inside. I don't want people to think we're scared. Nobody likes someone who's scared of things.
Really? Is that a thing? Like, y'all know people are afraid of things just by nature of having self-preservation instincts.
I, for one, think this is a perfectly reasonable situation to feel scared in. This place is getting awful tight. You feel something against your back. A thick root pushing its way into the cabin. An unstoppable, unyielding wall of bark. You're running out of time. Shit. What do we do? What do we do?
Huh. You can make them stop, right?
I could, but who says I want to? They're coming for me, too. But as long as you suffer while you die, I'll gladly suffer with you. Especially if I get to hear it happen.
Damn, all I did was stab you in the chest. Yeah, uh-huh. Okay, yeah.
This doesn't help anyone. I can't believe she'd kill herself just to spite me.
Just you, huh?
See? This is exactly why you've been tasked to slay her. She's an antisocial monster who'll gladly burn the whole world for her satisfaction.
Well... Yes, but that's also what makes her interesting.
You slump to the floor as the roots continue to expand into the cabin. Ugh, we're never going to make something of ourselves with that attitude.
What?
At least she isn't going to make something of herself either. At first it's almost gentle, your body being lifted delicately off the ground as the floor shifts beneath you. But the cradle of the growing roots starts to feel suffocating, then unbearably tight. Then that tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict. The sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living cabin.
I wonder if there's a way to convince her to save us. Oh well.
The suffering is what you deserve, you hideous creature. Know as you die that you are hated. I hate you, and I'm glad to die horribly if it means you die with me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I wonder if this is projection of what she thinks other people think of her.
The pressure is unfathomable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding with trapped blood. And then you pop. Everything goes dark.
Yeah.
And you die.
Well, pop goes the hero. Oh. Am I gonna get what I was looking for? I kind of hope not.
We are a path in the woods.
Oh.
We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge.
Is that so? Well.
His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that?
Oh. Narrator, welcome to the nightmare I accidentally summoned, created, unclear.
That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here?
So many times.
I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped.
And this kind of makes me think that this ending that we're going towards is right, because it's happening despite us not. Well, I don't know. I see that this is... I don't know yet. But I see this as yet another way to end up creating the stranger. Not the stranger, but the entity that used the stranger as a vessel to force us down this path. Maybe. Who could say at this point?
He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do?
We let the princess go.
Why does he want to know? I don't mind where we are right now. It's rather nice. I can hear what everyone is thinking.
Yet another voice. Great. Also, why paranoid? I mean, it fits with the subtle chanting in the music. Not chanting. Choir? Oh, hey, and it just got worse.
There's no reason to keep secrets. We tried leaving her in the basement, but she made the cabin come to life, and it crushed both of us into a fine paste. And now we're here, existing.
You know, I said chanting, and all of a sudden there was this rising moan. I was kind of worried for a minute there. Yeah, that.
And for what it's worth, I'm with him. This is nice.
Pleasant, you say.
It was a fitting end. I'm sorry if it hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
Actually, hey, this thing watching us, what is he?
I'm not watching you, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, by what?
That's not an answer to our question.
I don't
Hey.
know what he is. I only know that he is something other, and that he wishes for you and I to tear ourselves apart.
Cool, not helpful.
I do want that, but only because it's in your best interests. It's in everyone's best interests. You won't be able to slay her unless you remove yourself from her.
He wants us to kill each other.
Is that what he wants, or does he want... He's only been telling us to kill you, but we do end up dying each time.
I don't. I want you to kill her. Don't be charmed by her faux solidarity. You're not in this together.
Yeah, but if you wanted us to kill each other, that's what you would say. So...
She's the only one who poses a threat to the world, and she's trying to make you go along with it. You don't have to enable her, especially when you have what it takes to stop her.
Does she pose a threat to the world, or do I? Ideas there. Whatever we are right now is an abomination and I want out. I mean, that is... But also I want to... God, this... Here's the problem I'm having. All of these options are things I want to know. But because they don't have the explore tag, I think if I make these choices, then that's what we do going forward. We're gonna go with this, because I am curious. And I do... There's a part of me that thinks what we are creating is a monster, and there's another part of me that thinks what we are creating is the real princess. And I don't know. I just don't know, is the problem. Which one's the correct interpretation of events? I won't know until it's too late, so... Whatever we are right now is an abomination, and I want out. Except I don't want out, I just want a response to that. Also, didn't you sort of hate me? Then we sort of hate each other? Yeah. Why are you being nice to me? Don't you hate me? Don't we sort of hate each other?
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the doubting and the hatred and the schemes. Not after being something as beautiful as this.
Oh.
Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
Furious.
Spoken like honestly a real puppet master. Have we considered that maybe she's the one trying to trick us?
Quite possible.
I'm not.
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That petty feeling she mentioned, it is fuzzy, but it's there. Almost like she still hates us. It feels mutual.
No, I don't.
Please, stop. If you pay attention to that feeling, we'll fall apart. Don't look at it!
She's trying to turn you away
Damn.
from the truth. There's something she doesn't want you to see. I think you already know you have to look at it. Everyone's pulling in different directions, but that feeling doesn't have a motive, it just exists. Maybe we should look at it.
Actually, yeah. Like, I don't hate the princess, but why do we? Gaze at the hatred in your heart.
Please, don't make us remember how we were.
And just like that, you start to fall apart. Right, she really does hate us, and we hate her. It hurts thinking about us as separate things, but we're separate. We can't hate ourselves. I love me.
Except I don't hate her.
What were we thinking? Giving into absolute madness. We exist. We're real. We're separate from her. Of course we are. What are we? I can't remember. I don't want to remember what it felt like to be killed. It was so much nicer when it didn't feel like it mattered. And yet you keep remembering. You remember the loathing and animosity you've shared with the princess, the pain and the anger and the betrayal. And you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
Maybe bygones can't be bygones. I don't know why I ever wanted to share a body with you, of all things. It's like my very soul reeks of yours. That was horrible. This is better, finally. I'll be able to hurt you like you deserve.
Ah, I see that we have an abusive relationship. Which I wonder if there's something to that theme.
I wish I didn't have to.
I'm sorry.
Some division, when sown, can never truly be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole.
Perhaps if I feel like I made the wrong choice there.
And then you find yourself blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this once and for all.
Kill me then, if you hate me so much. Just get it over with.
I don't like this. What he wants us to do. It's just cruel. It feels like we'd be killing a part of ourselves. Well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it. I mean, what's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than?
Wow, what an asshole.
We'd just be sitting on a hill.
What's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than? Really? That's not the motivation, it's the being all alone, but okay.
Do we have to do this?
We don't.
You have to. You know you have to.
I hope we don't. Ah. Perfect. I never wanted to kill you, not really, but we can't be the same thing as each other. I had to put an end to whatever happened to us.
You devious little bastard. If you think I'm going to let you free her, you have another thing coming. He's not in our head anymore, at least not like before. I don't think he can stop us now.
Perfect.
I'm not bluffing. You won't be so smug when it happens. He's weak, thinks he can boss us around when he doesn't have any authority. We're clearly the ones with authority around here, so we can do whatever we like. You're tired, aren't you? No, I'm not. I'm... fine. Whatever. You cut the princess down from the roots that bind her. I hope you're happy. Good luck getting her out of here.
Somehow this seems worse than if I had just left her. Holy shit, this is some body horror. I don't think I actually explored this initially because I was, focused on the narrative, but my god, the art in that previous scene was awful. This is significantly worse. Like, awful in a way that the art is great, but the thing that you're showing me is awful.
I didn't think you would do that after everything.
Ugh.
It's so cold without you.
She's just a torso, and oh my god, I hate it. Please, take it away. Thank you. Ugh. You don't get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
I cannot wait to actually explore some of these endings after we've done this. Because, my god, I love a good narrative, and some of these storylines are fantastic. Just with the themes, just with the characterizations of the character, pardon. My body's a little off today, but, I love it. I love that storyline. I love that it let me try to get her out of there, but I suspect at the end of that storyline, she doesn't survive with the, gaping chest wound and apparently missing most of her body. I say. And furthermore, But yes, she's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? No.
And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
It's gonna be okay. Just trust me, we've been here before and you always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
Well, yes.
It's calling us. And not in a good way. If they think it's bad, I'm with them.
Yeah. I haven't said this. It's the end for you, but not for me.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. You better watch your back. You can't get rid of me that easy. Can't even trust ourselves.
Perhaps I should have been kind to myself, but we approach the mirror. And what do we see? Silence as you reach forward. They're gone again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. Oh, hold up. It's really just the arm that changes, huh? And yeah, we've, unraveled. Withered is more accurate. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. Proceed to the cabin. Didn't pay attention, didn't look for the trees last time. Last scene, rather. But we're at the cabin. Let's go say hi. Oh!
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it.
Yeah. Well, this is a awful and gory thing. You think there are people out there?
It doesn't matter if there are. People are too small for us. You and I are the only things that interest me.
That's an unhealthy relationship, but okay. Do you have thoughts on this vessel?
This one is like a shadow of me, twisting vines in search of answers. She will make for a curious heart. Do not mourn her. She has found what she yearned for.
Oh. Well, this one I'm curious about. When you send me back, I'm not alone. There are voices that speak to me. Some of them are me, but one of them is something else. I call him the narrator, and he wants me to kill you. Do you have a narrator? Have the vessels had one?
No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
He does, and when I find him, you and I are finally going to have answers.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
Not true, but okay. We'll let that continue. Do you think that anything is real out there? Do you think that we are real? I feel like there were some answers previous that I would have liked to look at, but... yeah. Can't.
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
Okay. I mean, yes, technically. Technically. I mean, we could get into the idea that nothing is, well, it's a useful construct to describe reality. Anyway, not important. You know what's going to happen when you awaken?
If I did, I would already be awake.
That doesn't follow. How many more vessels do I need? Probably just one, alright?
One. Whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular. A final multitude.
If this is the last time, is there anything you would like me to bring you?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your
Yeah, but I
heart.
don't know.
The
God damn you.
only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
This is a very weird response. If this is the last stage before your completion, then I'm not going back. I'm just going to stay here. But, no. Why? I'm ready to go back, I guess. Oh, but what does this mean? I'm curious.
You've already tried waiting, but I understand if you need more time. I'll wait with you.
Out of curiosity.
I will see you when you return. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping?
I truly hate the way you're manipulating the body right there in this particular scene. Like she's waving the stumps of her arms, like, no.
If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage.
I don't like that is exactly what we are. We are just a pattern repeating itself until we get out of this hand-drawn cage. Yeah, this has that hand-drawn look to it, doesn't it? Yeah, don't like that.
You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine.
It's like it suddenly gets the idea of the player playing the game into the game, but in a slightly incorrect way, but in a way that makes me think that it's talking to me, the person, and not me, the character, and I like that. I do. I do like the little fourth wall breaks, but I don't like that you are the one making them. Did that just crash my game? Holy shit, it just crashed my game! Wait. Wait. That feels very much intentional.
You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side.
God damn it, I love that. That is... I love that mechanic. There's also going to be a slight delay where it's black while she's talking, like black screen while she's talking. Might try to fix that in post. But yeah, I guess I am ready to go back. I love that I love that you did that. That's good. It's good stuff. It's kind of worrying, but good stuff nonetheless.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
Yep. Everything goes dark, and you die. The hero and the princess.
You're on a path in the woods.
They aren't really
And
woods.
at the end of that path is a cabin.
It's not really a cabin.
And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
And she is most definitely not really a princess. But we shall see the conclusion of this path next episode, for good or for ill. I am concerned. But we're on a path, we are walking that path, and however it ends, it's bound to be interesting at the very least. I imagine it's going to be our only chance to get answers from the narrator as well, perhaps? That wasn't really a factor in previous iterations, previous runs, as it were. The idea that we are going to meet the narrator and actually force some answers out of them. But if that's the direction we go, pretty interesting. Fascinating. And if the princesses don't have a narrator, I wonder if the thing that we're making will become the narrator for the princesses. I'm also kind of curious if this is going to do sort of what Undertale did with the idea of a multiple runs, and have creating this entity affect future runs of the game. I'm kind of curious if they're going to go that direction. I don't know if they would go that deep with it, because you would have to make changes to a lot of different routes to make that work. But other games have done that, so not even just like Undertale's the example I used, but I'm vaguely aware of Doki Doki Literature Club being a thing that did that in certain ways. The whole crashing your game too. It's fascinating to me. Indie games using sort of the crashing the screen to desktop as a way to sort of heighten the plot, as it were, as a plot device. It's interesting. It's fascinating to me. And it happens enough times that it's kind of a trope, but it's not, like, so common that I can point out to you a long list of games that have done that. But still, interesting. Sorry, going on a tangent there because I'm interested in, storytelling. And the way it's done in games Especially this one. This one's been amazing so far. Loving my time with it. But, as with all things, it must end for now. So thank you all for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly. And I will see you all soon. Goodbye.